Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Every year, dozens of people go missing in the national parks. Most of them are found, but some of them are not, and they go missing under baffling circumstances. I'm Aiden Madison. In the next 45 seconds, I'm going to tell you exactly what the missing 411 profile is. There are several key points to this. One is that people go missing near water. They also go missing near boulder fields. A lot of these cases involve a significant elevation change. For some reason, berry shrubs are very commonly found near the location. Sudden weather changes are common, as are the inability of dogs to actually discover a scent of the missing person. The point of separation usually involves one of these aspects, of course. As well, when remains are found, they are often missing clothes, or clothes are found where no remains are found. In many of these cases, children are the ones going missing, and when remains are found, there is no discernible cause of death. Factors that will rule out a missing 411 investigation include signs of predation, suicidal intent, mental health issues, the intent to disappear, intentional crime, or drowning. That's it. That's the video. Check out our full video on it.
The missing 411 David Paulides stuff I find absolutely fascinating. I think the most interesting part about all of that is exactly what this video is touching on. The fact that they have all these abductions with the same MO, the same circumstances and stuff surrounding them. It's very fascinating. Almost as if there's this overwhelming amount of evidence that we just can't put the pieces together and figure out what it points to.
I said it once and I'll say it again. What the f is in them woods? Y'all look at this map. Holy shit. Top is missing people, bottom is the underground cave system. What the actual f? They were connected. I don't give a f. I don't care what you say. I need y'all to really, really look at this area, okay? Too close. That's entirely too close. The gag for me, though, is that even though California doesn't have that many underground cave systems mapped, at least, look at all the missing people that still match up. We don't know the official number, but as of right now, David Paulides is up to like 1,600 people missing in national parks. And I really think this has something to do with it now. Look at this matchup right here, though, and holy, look at that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that this is not connected to the missing 1,600 people. Back at it with what the f in them woods.
So I like this theory that it's something to do with the cave systems, specifically because that, in my mind, explains away how these people that go missing and then are found miles and miles away later on in a short period of time. Say in just a couple of days someone's traveled 4 or 5 miles through thick brush and difficult terrain. A lot of these cases, it seems like an impossibility, like there's no physical way that the person could have traveled the distance that they did. But these tunnel systems would explain that. If they're being abducted and then moved through these tunnel systems, depending on the status of or the condition of that tunnel, you would potentially be able to move a lot faster through that than you would through the forest.
The disappearance of 3-year-old Riker Webb is one of the strangest stories I've ever read. So this is Riker Webb, a 3-year-old from small-town Troy, Montana. And on June 5th, 2023, this is how he looked when he was found. On that day, a family that was visiting their remote cabin in the middle of the wilderness heard the sounds of a little boy crying out from behind a shed. When they went behind the shed, they discovered young 3-year-old Riker. He was all alone, he was terrified, and they didn't know how he had gotten there. So they called the police, they located his family, and they figured out that he'd been missing for 2 nights. So apparently on the day that he went missing, Riker had been outside playing with his dog, and he decided to go on a walk by himself. Now, according to some reports, his family actually noticed that he had been missing but waited for 2 hours to actually report it to the police. And in that time, Riker traveled a very long distance. Now, just take a look at this little map. This is where Riker was at the beginning of this ordeal, and this is where he was found 2 days later. I think it's absolutely wild that a 3-year-old could actually walk that far in 2 days, let alone completely by themselves in an area that, according to locals, is heavily populated with bears and mountain lions. Now, during the time while Riker was missing, there were massive thunderstorms that were pummeling the area, water was pouring down from above, and at night the temperatures dropped into the 40s, so these were absolutely insane weather conditions. And even some adults wouldn't be able to survive this ordeal. So there are still so many questions that remain in my head about this case, like how he made his way all the way down from that point to that point, how he survived the elements. But at the end of the day, I'm just so happy that he was found and located and brought home safely.
So that right there is just a really good example of what I was talking about. This 3-year-old child goes missing and in 2 days traveled 4 miles. Horrible weather conditions, in rough terrain, thick shrubbery, in an area that's known to have mountain lions and bears, and somehow he made it all that distance unharmed. It doesn't add up. It just doesn't make any sense. That's why I really like the idea of the tunnel system. I think that potentially explains that away.
The thing is that in America, they put in a state of fear into people to where they want to consider probably martial law probably one of these few years that's coming up.
NDAA.
But the thing is, people that's learned the knowledge of what's going on,
It's coming, baby.
it's gonna be hell. Them little drones ain't no joke. I personally seen them blow some Arabs up. I've been in Iraq many a time with them things, so they ain't no joke.
And what they getting ready for in America? Yeah, say what you just said. Like they gonna break it off. Say what you just said.
Well, with the FEMA camps and everything built up, and it's all over the YouTube bases and everything, you know. We've been practicing riot control, you know.
Right.
So
Like the brother
if
said.
y'all think y'all gonna go out here and do some thing and they call in the big boys, hey, I'm gonna be on that cruise line up in the wilderness somewhere because I don't want no part of it.
Right.
You know?
See? We ain't gonna have no parts of that shit either. That's why we out here trying to warn our people. See, the brother taking heed. And he telling y'all, he in the army, he telling y'all it's coming. Oh, well. Our job is done. All right.
It's
Yeah,
not
you got
nice.
the number, brother?
I'm on my little 24th year, so I'm in retirement stage, so I'm not gonna be wearing army green. I'm just gonna pack up my survival stuff and go ahead and hit that wilderness so I can take the next 3.5 years to the. I'm jumping ship, bro. I ain't about to go do that.
If you come into this, you
be good.
Bro, I know that.
You ain't gotta have nothing.
Well,
According to the Bible. But we gonna leave it.
Hey, he
we
gonna
show you more.
Hey, I know trees gonna sprout up and everything. We gonna have our little mango trees and everything chilling and everything. But I just like to keep my ladder lit, you know, with some oil, fresh oil. Just in case, you know.
All right, sure.
There's your heads up. There's your warning. If you're not preparing for this and you don't know where to begin, go to our Discord. You can find the link in the description, and we have a page on there that is specifically set up for prepping and taking care of yourself in case of a situation like this. I highly suggest everybody go there. There's some really good stuff in there. We got a couple of guys like Wolf and Sab that keep posting really good stuff in there. So if you're looking for a good place to get started in preparedness, there you go. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day. It would be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
Too many sad people don't even know that the word firmament was actually only written about in ancient texts, not the Bible. The Bible copied those ancient texts, and of course those people that never look up what the word firmament means don't actually know anything about the firmament. So I'm going to give you the evidence today, and this ends that baloney about the firmament being this dome around Earth, which no one's seen except for about 13 people back in ancient times in Mesopotamia. So what we're listening to here is the transcripts or translations of tablets in the Columbia University from the ancient Babylonian texts that was transcribed by humans on behalf of the Anunnaki. And it's talking about Nibiru coming in, smashing, or the 4 moons of Nibiru originally coming in, smashing a planet called Tiamat that was between Jupiter and Mars. Then Nibiru went back round and finally broke Tiamat into these here, which is the asteroid belt, and part of it you'll see was actually Earth. Now you can listen to it all, evidence. Here we go. Enjoy.
Nibiru fired a lightning bolt at Northwind. He transmitted a message, and Tiamat's head was taken away in a blaze of light to an unknown location. Kingu was also sent away with her, and the portion that had been severed was to be his friend.
Kingu was the moon.
Nibiru
our
then
moon.
considered what would happen to the back part. He wanted it to be a combat trophy that would survive eternally. The battleground to be enshrined serves as a permanent reminder. He used his mace to sever the horse's back. They then strung them all together to form a hammered bracelet. He secured them as watchmen by locking them together. A firmament to keep the waters separate from the waters. Nibiru has created beautiful works of art by separating the upper waters above the firmament from the lower waters.
So there you go. Basically what it's saying is the huge planet that ended up being part of, well, Earth being part of, had water on it. It was actually a water planet, if you actually want to do your research. Wait for my Norse mythology video to come out for all the evidence in that. But it also says it in these Sumerian tablets. So, there you have it. There is no dome over Earth. It's talking about here.
I found this interesting because this is the first time that I've actually heard of the firmament being mentioned in text that predates the Bible. There's a lot of stories in the Bible that are taken from other religions or other religious texts, but this is the first time I'd heard of the actual firmament being mentioned somewhere else. So you don't really get much older than the Anunnaki talking about it.
Whoever invented these traps was a real psychopath. The Viet Cong were notorious for their makeshift traps in the Vietnam War, using wires, bamboo, and pretty much anything they could get their hands on to make the deadliest homemade booby traps that even you can make, undetectable by the US Army, that acted as psychological warfare just as much as they did in physical damage, like this foot pedal or bear trap, which was specifically designed for the troops' steel-toed boots. Once the soldier stepped into it, it caved in, and dozens of sharpened bamboo sticks pierced their calf and was incredibly painful. Similar to their Venus flytrap, except you'd have the sticks aimed downwards into the foothole, and when someone's foot slipped through, it would almost feel like nothing was even there at first. When the victim would unknowingly try to pull out of it, their foot would get trapped by these angled bamboo spears. Yeah, good luck with that. Now, the Viet Cong weren't a traditional military. They were just farmers and local supporters of the North Vietnamese army, who joined the war against a more powerful opponent, the US Army, by mobilizing in small groups and coordinating Home Alone-style sabotage traps, the definition of guerrilla warfare. Come on, how bad could a couple of sharpened bamboo sticks really be? Oh, they're pretty bad. When cut at the proper angle, these babies get sharp as a mother cracker. They called them punji spikes and would sometimes give them this little serration at the end to make them extra painful to remove. Oh, and they covered the tips with feces to cause infection in their victims, either of the animal or even human variety. They'd put a whole bunch of these spikes in the ground like this and cover the top with leaves for a punji pit, which weren't a good time. Same with the trap bridge. More punji spikes underwater with a deceiving river crossing over it that would break in half. Stepping it up with the can grenade. 2 grenades with their pins pulled, stuffed into cans, and held together by wire. Since the pins were pulled, the nade was essentially getting cooked the whole time. When someone tripped the wire, the blast would be immediate. This is probably my favorite one, the crossbow trap. I mean, just look at this intricate trip wire system they got going on. When a soldier tripped it, the locking mechanism would release, and this arrow, probably also covered with feces, is shot into the victim. The tiger trap is just cruel. More tripwires would release bamboo rafts covered with spikes from the sky and likely pierce their skulls. As you can tell, these traps weren't just physically deadly and extremely painful, but also played mind games with the already exhausted soldiers, as every move they made could result in death or excruciating pain. Vietnam veterans recall being mentally terrorized, not only from surprise attacks by guerrilla soldiers hidden in the thick jungle, but also, or even more so, chronically on edge about falling victim to one of these gut-wrenching traps. Like the spike board, a sort of evil twin cousin of the classic rake prank, except it had, you guessed it, feces-covered spikes at the end of it that would puncture their head and chest. Snake pits victims would fall into would be filled with deadly, venomous green pit vipers for Indiana Jones's worst nightmare. Mace traps go full Ewok mode with either a large log, hardened mud, a box, or even concrete covered with spikes that would swing down from the trees when tripped. The door trap would smash your face with spikes as soon as you walked into an abandoned cabin for safety. The side closing or tension trap is also kind of genius, using the tension of a bungee cord holding together 2 plates of wood with spikes. A block in the middle would keep the trap open until someone fell through, pushing it out of the way and snapping them shut with an incredible force of tension. And whoever made the bamboo whip trap straight up deserves an engineering degree. I mean, just look at this thing. Since bamboo's flexible, they could bend it back like this and hold it in place with all these wires and pulleys. When someone tripped it, the wires released and the spiked end of the bamboo stick comes swinging out at breakneck speeds. I feel like I've seen this before. Hornet trap releases a nest from an overhead box, causing soldiers to scramble, and would often be used in combination with snake or punji pits to finish them off. These guys sure know their combos. Cartridge trap, one of the few that used actual military weaponry, would have an upwards bullet buried in a hole with a nail underneath it. When a victim stepped on it, the nail would act as a firing pin and shoot the bullet up through the troop's foot. They called these toe poppers. And the flag bomb. The Viet Cong quickly realized that Americans were kind of obsessed with claiming and raising flags as sort of a symbol of dominance, so they used that against them and started rigging flagpoles with grenades, again with their pins pulled that would cause an immediate explosion. Yeah, I guess there's a reason the US lost that one.
Holy crap. I have a new respect for those that fought in the Vietnam War. Not that I didn't have respect for them already, but oh my gosh, the sheer amount of things that you had to worry about just to walk around, much less when you're actually fighting. That's terrifying.
AI can now officially read your dreams. When you look at anything like this grass field, your brain's neural pathways form a specific pattern, sort of like a heat map. And every possible thing you look at or can even imagine has its own unique pattern. When you dream, your brain behaves much the same way, forming brain frequency patterns based on what you're dreaming about. Well, Asa Raskin from the Center for Humane Technology announced that they've done some tests, and what they discovered is impressive but incredibly alarming. They put a test subject inside an fMRI machine, which can read brain activity, and had them look at an image, in this case an image of a giraffe, and the machine mapped out their brainwave pattern. They then hid the image and fed only the brain map data to an AI image generator, probably a little more advanced than Midjourney. An AI that has never seen the original image of the giraffe, nor had access to an internet database that stored the original image either. It then generated, strictly based on the fMRI brain map data, what it determined that the person was looking at, and this is what it produced. Not exactly the same image, but I don't think you understand what it means that AI can now turn this into that with this level of accuracy. And we're still quite early in this technology, so it's only getting better from here. Then they took it a step further. They showed the test subject in the fMRI machine a video, and on top of generating what the subject is seeing, they also wanted to find out if the AI can read your inner monologue, the words you think to yourself in your own mind that no one else knows about. The test subject watched this video and was told to narrate what was going on in the video inside their own head. Here, let's do it together. You ready? Did you get all that? Now again, given only the subject's brain activity heat map, this is what the AI determined the person was thinking. I see a girl that looks just like me get hit on the back, and then she is knocked off. Probably a bit different than what you thought, but this is literally AI reading our minds, and all it takes is someone's fMRI brain scan data. Our thoughts and dreams can now be leaked to the world. Give it a few more years and this technology will get near perfect. And sure, fMRI machines may look like this today, big, clunky, and all around you, but that technology is also going to improve. What if we have fMRI Apple Vision Pro goggles 10, 20 years from now? You'd be able to see and read what someone is thinking or even dreaming by just looking at them.
Or what if you have a microchip implanted in your brain through Neuralink and you're able to decode what people are thinking and just share your thoughts, whether you want to or not, with the world? I think we're definitely headed down a dark path with all this stuff. It's unnerving. It just seems like there's a lot of really smart people out there that need to watch Black Mirror.
Bigfoot. So I was editing that reel on the Sierra Sounds. They say that Bigfoot is imitating the humans that are speaking to it. But you start to think about, like, if a Bigfoot is imitating humans, in what context would Bigfoot have had the chance to study humans, right? Probably be encounters where somebody's doing something like, if you saw a bear, you'd be like, "Hey bear, hey, hey, hey." You'd be making kind of like a bigger, weird human voice. If the encounter turned physical, what would that sound like? So just picture a monster, Bigfoot, giant creature putting hands on somebody. You would hear someone screaming. You would hear gurgling from someone dying. Now, with that thought process, listen to this clip. I cut this straight out of the Sierra Sounds.
Okay.
Just two of them across the creek, big rocks.
That's so eerie, dude. I don't like that at all.
This is a really scary episode.
Man, that does sound like someone yelling for help, like a lady or something hollering for help. I wonder if, and this is just my brain misleading me in different directions, but I wonder if a lot of the noises that people hear at night that they assume are skinwalkers could be a Bigfoot or something, some other animal replicating human sounds that they've heard while they were attacking them. That's a very creepy theory, but it makes sense if Bigfoot's real, of course.
This creepy video was featured by Ghost Host, I'll tag him below. And while the original user is no longer active, she shares a story of when she was taking pictures of a house she was trying to sell, and it did not go well. Because not only was the house suspicious, the people living there were even creepier. But it should be noted that the cops were called, and shortly after, her account was gone, leaving her followers to speculate. But let me know, what would you do in this situation?
So I took pictures of this house, and this guy was following me around like the whole time, which isn't unusual, but he was a little bit strange, and there was like 6 people living in this house, and it's a hoarder house. But I also noticed they have like 3 locks on the door, and then down here they have locks, and then going up here they have a camera, and it's facing this door. Anyway, a roommate comes out of this door and he asks them if he should lock the door and kidnap me. And I said, immediately, people know where I am. And then he laughed and said, no one would ever hear from you again. Bro, I did not even finish this house. I immediately left. I was like, no, dipped the out. You can see me right there. Hello. But yeah, pretty sure I maybe almost got kidnapped, but I don't really know.
I would have never started photographing the inside of that house. The moment I walked in and saw the state of it, I would have thought, nope, I don't need this money. Some people need to learn not to put themselves in certain situations.
A lot of people that told me not to do this, that it's going to get bad for me. I don't care. I live for God. I don't live for anybody else. I'm going to touch this really quick. Really quick. The rules of satanic worship is it needs to be in your plain sight. That's all I'm going to say. So everything that I'm saying is right in front of your face. And you're not doing anything about it. You're not doing anything about it. I'm screaming to the world, putting my reputation on the line. I got people wanting to cancel the fight. People telling me I need to go to a mental rehab to put me into the psych ward because I'm speaking the truth. Please help me and you help the children. Jeffrey Epstein ain't the only island. That's what I will say. They blackmail each other so they can have a union where they won't snitch on each other. Think about that. They do horrible things together so they don't snitch against each other, and they're rich so they hold each other accountable. If you say something, I'm gonna say something, and everything comes down. Think about it. A lot of eyes on me, and I'm bringing awareness for the kids, the little kids that are hurting. I know you guys seen that video. I'm not even gonna say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. Starts with the J.
Now, I don't know what the name is that he's referring to, but, you know, the more I'm hearing from Ryan Garcia here lately, the more I start to worry that this dude is, you know, at first, I'm just worried for him. At first, I thought that he was kind of going crazy and going off the deep end, but he's saying the same thing that we talk about on this channel constantly, that they've got to have their rituals in plain sight and that they've got to put all this stuff right in front of your face, that it's kind of like a rule. And there's absolutely truth to what he's saying about there's groups of elites that blackmail each other and stuff intentionally so they know everybody involved is going to keep their mouth shut. We all know that's going on.
Today I'm going to be doing a live test to see if Google is always listening on your microphone. This is the subject we're going to talk about, okay? We're going to go to a few websites and see if we can find any advertisements for this right here. Now, I don't own one of these, so it's not gonna be on any of the websites that it shouldn't be on any of the websites that we go to. Let's take a look at these websites and see what the advertisements are on them. The sponsored content here is from Outbrain. Obviously not what we have written on our piece of paper here. This one's an advertisement for, what was that? Fancy pants taste on underpants budget. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. And here we have a breast cancer ad. I don't have breast cancer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close all the browsers, and then we're going to talk about this subject for a couple of minutes. All right, so dog toys. I mean, I want to buy some dog toys for my dog, okay? Because I love my dog, and he deserves all the best toys in the world, so maybe we can find him some really nice toys for dogs. I think that'd be nice. Near me, or affordable dog toys, that'd be really good for me, because as a consumer, I'm looking for the most affordable items that I can get for my pooch. All right, guys, I think that's plenty. So let's go ahead and get back online and see what we got here. First website up. Oh my God! It's right there. There's dog toys right here. Well, everybody, I think that is conclusive.
I feel like that right there ought to be good enough evidence that you could take Google to court and say, hey, they're constantly listening to our conversations. But unfortunately, they'll keep getting away with this. There's nothing anyone will ever be able to do. Man, I don't mean to sound like such a Debbie Downer today.
AI is now being used to find the location of a photo with no location data, just using the small details in the image. This is wild. Check this out. This site's called geospy.ai. So you can upload a photo, here's a search, comes back with the owner of the site in Massachusetts, the city's Boston, Here's some tacos. This looks like New York City. And some coordinates. Here's some food. We see that's in Indonesia. Then finally we have a place that looks like an office, and it's Italy. The public version of this tool is not 100% accurate every time, but AI is getting better and better every day. So check this out and stay safe.
Well, there goes your anonymity on the internet. That's no longer a possibility.
Yeah, baby, don't stop there again. No, I already went there. The car is perfectly fine. It's perfectly clean. Yeah, she just woke up from her nap. She just woke up from her nappy nap. Yeah. She's a good girl. Here. Are you home? What the fuck, baby? Are you home? Baby, come on, stop fucking with me. Stop fucking with me, baby. Baby, come on, come home, because I'm starting to get scared here without you. What the fuck, baby? Baby, come on, hurry up. Hurry up, this shit's starting to happen now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And see? Baby, come on, hurry up. Hurry up, baby. Hurry up. I don't like being here by myself. What the fuck, baby? Hurry up.
It's been a while since we've covered a fake ghost video on this channel. This one popped up in my feed, and I thought for old time's sake I'd throw it in here. Clearly, that was all planned, and there's somebody probably hiding underneath that bed, and they got a string tied to the leg of that chair so that they could slide it toward the foot of the bed. The woman's acting is not that great, and it just seems like so many other ghost videos where it's just something sliding across the floor, and they're panicking about it.
Through COVID-19.
No more. No more.
That was Demon in a Meat Suit, Kenneth Copeland. Do you understand the level of satanic that a person would have to be in order to create their own Luciferian practices without a manual, without a spell book, be able to put together a satanic ritual and carry it out in front of a congregation without a hitch?
Now we've mixed our blood.
Now I want you to see the face of unchecked authority in a church.
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Look at the rage on this man's face. Look at his anger. This is the result of decades of yes men. This is the result of decades of everyone saying, you're right, yes sir, right away sir. He don't know how to be asked a question. When his authority is checked, the man goes into a rage and an anger that comes straight out of hell. It is satanic what this man is going through. Not only is it satanic what this man is going through, he's also going through pre-dementia.
COVID-19!
COVID-19!
I blow the wind of God.
The wind of God.
On you.
The people around Kenneth Copeland know he need help, know he's going through in his mind, know he need to be sat down, but the fact of the matter is, he is the cash cow. He is the one that's making sure everybody get paid, and he has kept the cult together. So they let him get up there like a lunatic and say and do crazy stuff because they know he's the one that's going to get the money. To all of my Pentecostal people, to all of my charismatic people, to all my holiness people, this is a problem that we see a lot in your organizations. You turn men into gods, they have unchecked power, and that's when they turn into monsters. That's when we get all the stories about kids getting touched. That's when we get all the stories about people's wives being abused, people giving all their money and all their land to a church, and a pastor taking everything from them. That's why we get these stories, because in the Pentecostal, charismatic, holiness, apostolic arms of Christianity, There's this, I am being led by God and I'm being led by the Spirit, and no one else can question me. And that's why we end up with monsters. This dude is outside of his mind because he has gone years and years with no one telling him the truth. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that thing right there, that thing is corrupt.
I have a big problem with some of these mega churches and their leaders, but Kenneth Copeland, I think, is probably one of the most evil human beings alive. You can tell that the guy doesn't really believe in what he's preaching. He's just in it for the money. The way that he rationalizes having all this money and having this lifestyle when you're supposed to be a humble preacher is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. The stuff that he says, it's you can tell he doesn't even believe what he's saying. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed these clips that we watched together today. I tried to spice it up and get more of a variety. I felt like things were getting stale. We were seeing the same type of content over and over, and I don't want the channel to become boring. So tried to spice things up and throw in some new stuff. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about these clips. If you'd like to see more of a variety like this stuff, let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. I hope you guys all have a safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.